Hi all, welcome back. Today I got an interesting stuff to discuss about. Yeah, it's about AI tokens. Yes, how I came to this topic? It's like 2 days back, one of the researchers working with me, he asked me a question like, "Is Tony Stark a vibe coder, and what's his ultimate source?" And I said like, Tony Stark, yeah, he's absolutely a vibe coder. You can see it from all the images, from the all the scenes, from yeah, from the appearance itself. And is he basically what's his biggest resource? It's like I think tokens, and I said unlimited tokens. That's his biggest resource because you can look at Jarvis or Friday. You can see whenever he's asking, it's not saying like you are limit hit this percentage, and you need to charge this percentage to upgrade. No, he's not gonna. No, leave that shit. And yeah, then he asked me, is unlimited tokens possible? Is unlimited AI tokens possible? Yeah. Unlimited AI tokens. That's a topic. Yeah. Is that actually possible or is it just marketing? I want to actually think about this from first principles because I think the intuitive answer people have is wrong in an interesting way. Yeah. The name tag is unlimited is a lie. It's a sales trick. There's always a catch. And today that's basically true, but I think the more interesting question is why it's true today and whether that's a permanent fact about AI or just a fact about 2026. Spoiler, I think it's the latter. Let's build up to it. So, first, let's just be precise about what we are even talking about. A token isn't an abstract unit, it's a proxy for compute. Every token the model outputs requires a forward pass through a neural network with billions, sometimes trillions of parameters. That forward pass takes GPU time. GPU time takes electricity. Electricity costs money. So, give me unlimited tokens is really the same sentence as give me unlimited GPU seconds, which is really the same sentence as give me unlimited electricity for free forever. Framed that way, you immediately see why no company just hands that out. It's not a policy choice, it's a cost structure. Yeah, okay. So, given that, the interesting question isn't will companies be generous? It's how fast is the cost of one token falling and where does that curve end up? Yeah. And so let's look at the data because I think people underrate how fast this is moving. If you think about late 2021, GPT-3 level intelligence costs roughly $60 per million tokens. That's the reference point. By 24, you can get that same level of capability from basically for about 6 cents per million tokens. That's a 1000x drop in 3 years, guys. 3 years. Now, for comparison, Moore's law, which everyone treats as this blazing fast exponential, predicts roughly a 2x improvement over that same 3 year window. A inference costs have been fallen on the order of tens to hundreds of times faster than that. Some specific benchmarks have shown year-over-year drops as steep as 900x. I think this is the single most important economic fact about AI right now, and most people haven't internalized it. We are not on a normal technology cost curve, we are on one of the steepest cost curves in the history of computing. And to make it concrete, at 24 prices, $1 buys you around 10 million words of model outputs. That's more words than most people will read in a decade for a dollar. So, when you ask, can tokens become unlimited? What you're really asking is, does that curve keeps going? Let's dig into why it's happening because the mechanism matters. I'd break that drives into four buckets and let's drive through all four. The first bucket, I'll say hardware. Each GPU generation, A100 to H100 to B200 has cut the cost per token by roughly an order of magnitude. That's just silicon getting better at the specific matrix multiplication transformers need. And now you got custom accelerators too, like Google's TPUs, Amazon's Trainium, purpose built for this exact workload rather than general purpose compute. One company, Midjourney, I hope you guys know that, like cut their monthly inference bill from about like $2.1 million to under 700K just by switching accelerator types. And same workload, different silicon. That's the only difference there. The second bucket I'd place architecture. This one's underrated, very underrated. Early large models active the entire network from every single token. Dense compute, every parameter, every time. Mixture of experts, architectures changed that. Like mixture of experts. That's an architecture framework. The model has many expert sub network, and a routing mechanism activates only a small fraction of them per token. You get the capacity of huge model while only paying the compute cost of a small one. I hope you guys get it, and that's a structural, not incremental efficiency win. What should I place at the third bucket? I think, yeah, quantization and inference tricks. I think that's the proper one. Rounding weights to lower precision, thing going from a very fine grained number representation down to something coarser. Barely hurts accuracy but massively cuts memory and compute. Like combine that with speculative decoding, where a small fast model drives several tokens ahead and a large model verifies them in parallel instead of generating one at a time, and you are looking at another 60 to 70% cost reduction just from smarter serving. Yeah, that's how the quantization and this inference tricks gonna work. It's like all the companies gonna do it soon, and it's already happened in big companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and even Zoogudu. My company is also using that way. We started. Then the competition. I think it's the most interesting stuff in all four buckets, and because it's a little funny, and it's also very difficult to crack because it's the logic is very complex in this sector. Like when a lab ships a frontier class model at a fraction of the going rate, like you can take the example of DeepSeek is the clean example here. It forces every other lab to reprice overnight because that was the scenario that happened there. That's not a technical factor; it's a market one, but it compounds with everything else. And stack all four and you get the 1000x in 3 years number. That was that I mentioned it before, and that's not one breakthrough, it's four exponential multiplying together. Then you get the answer of what the thing I'm talking of. Now I want to be careful here because I don't think the curve is uniform. The easy efficiency wins, the low hanging fruit are mostly picked. Forward-looking estimates suggest the price probably settles into something like 3 to 5x a year rather than 1000x every 3 years. Still extraordinary by any normal standard, just not that extraordinary. And there's a second wrinkle. While cheap fixed capability AI keeps getting cheaper, the frontier, the actual smartest, most capable models keeps getting more expensive to run because each jump in reasoning ability burns more compute per response. You know that stuff, so you don't get the price. You get a split. Basically, that's what gonna happen there. That's where the real unlimited AI tokens is gonna possibly happen soon. That split, like commodity intelligence trending toward free, frontier intelligence staying a premium product, like that. Kind of like how compute itself split into your phone's chip and a supercomputer. Both compute wildly different price points, like same but different, and which gives you two realistic path to something that feels like Tony Stark's Jarvis thing. And let's dive into it. First one is on device inference. As models get more efficient and chips get better at running them locally, you get a capable model running entirely on your own hardware. No per token bill to any company, your marginal cost is just electricity to run your own device, which is close enough to zero that it stops mattering. Yeah. Then the second one is energy abundance. Compute cost is ultimately downstream of energy cost. If power gets dramatically cheaper, better renewables, next generation nuclear stuff, the entire stack gets cheaper with it because electricity is the actual raw input here, no tokens. Then if you dive more into what the question, like is unlimited AI tokens possible, because that's the biggest question. Jensen Hong, Sam Altman, Dario Amodei, and Elon, everybody asking themselves, like even me and all other AI founders. And if you ask in that way, here's the analogy I find clarifying. Internet bandwidth in the 90s, you paid by the megabyte MB and watched a little meter, right? Today, unlimited data is just normal. Not because bandwidth became infinite, it didn't. Basically, it didn't. But because it got cheap enough that the cost of metering it exceeded the cost of just not metering it. Yeah, that's the thing that happened. I think that's exactly the trajectory tokens are on, just compressed into years instead of decades. Yeah, unlimited AI won't arrive because some company becomes infinitely generous. It will arrive the same way unlimited data did. The moment counting stops being worth the friction. Yeah. Jarvis is in fictional because Tony Stark discovered some clever business model. He's fictional because the movie just never shows you the electricity bill. Then, so it's the conclusion I want to say. Is unlimited AI tokens possible? I'd say not literally infinite. No, that violates thermodynamics because it violates economics. But so cheap, nobody bothers to meter is anymore. Yeah, yeah. That's not just possible. That's the direction every car is already pointing to, and it's soon to happen because Nvidia, AMD, or those semiconductor giants, they are into something really that gonna revolutionize the AI computing. And honestly, given the phase we are on, I wouldn't see shocked if we are closer to that than most people think, because the by 2030 or um, something like that, we are gonna like tokens are gonna be cash, like Elon said. And if that happens, unlimited token, that perspective will be here, but not in the way that people think like this. That's it. And I'm not a guy to talk more about this AI stuff, this tokenization stuff, basically. And yeah, I am a founder, but we are very early. We start the company just months back, and you should try my AI Zukudu, because that's not the AI like ChatGPT or Claude. It's a gateway to create your clone and talk with it. And the clone one model is running absolutely good. That's incredible, and it's fun to talk with your clones because that's a sci-fi stuff. And you should try it and give me your response, give me your review on it, or what should I say? Thank you all. Thank you for listening.